That's what was broken about our industry, and you're fixing it. I want to make sure it's clear, why Bobyard exists. So give us a little bit more detail into what Bobyard is and specific problem that it solves for landscape.
The specific problem is improper sort of deployment of the talent in your team. As estimators are some of the most sophisticated, savvy people in your company. And there's a huge labor shortage, and estimators, there's sort of like a labor war going on for estimators in landscaping. It's funny, in SF, there's like a huge labor war for AI talent. And I think for landscapers, it's the same thing for estimators. I think everybody wants a good estimator. And they're so hard to come by and very expensive to train and onboard and sort of retain. And as we sort of just make sure that estimators spend time doing things that only they can do. And that comes in the form of automating a lot of the takeoff and estimating process.
Yep.
Bobyard basically is a modern takeoff and estimate suite. Name any of the usual suspects. Sort of we can do the manual flow. And then on top of that, we've added a bunch of AI models to help you go faster. We automate, the bulk of the measurements for you, and people save quite a bit of time, somewhere between 60, 70, sometimes 80% of the time. A 4 or 5 hour takeoff project for like a commercial site takes now like 30, 60 minutes or something with Bobyard.
Right.
That's like 80, 90% faster. And so we sort of just go through and count the plants, do length, do area, measure mulch, etc. And that way you get to focus, the estimator gets to focus on things that only you can do. Make decisions about the actual project, plan out how you would actually execute this in phases, think about the risk, think about different scopes that might be missing from the drawings, etc. And we do all the things that like no one really wanted to do to begin with, like counting plants.
Well, and it's not, Bobyard is a little bit, and it's much more sophisticated than this. But like, for example, Michael, we run Vermeer mini skid steers, which is a pretty innovative, I call it the Swiss Army knife of the equipment in landscaping. It's smaller than a skid steer. It's less expensive. It does less damage. If you have one in a trailer with implements, there's all kinds of things that it'll do for you. You put it in the hands of the employee. They love it. They want to come into work. They want to run it. I see your product in a different way, solving the same issue. You're right. A lot of estimators are in sales, like Grant, my son that's running Bobyard here. He's on a commission. So the more bids that he gets out, the greater the chances he has for closing. When you're bidding commercial work, because I know you're not going to get them all. So you got to put a lot of stuff up on the wall. And if you get the job, Michael, as you know, it's got to be bid right. It's got to be bid accurately. And your comment there, I think that just rings home so much is you put an ad in the paper and I say the paper, the internet, wherever you want to go, Indeed, on LinkedIn to try to find an estimator. You're right. That's impossible. But if you could take somebody on your staff and train them on Bobyard and let that program do the work for it, that's what I see as you saw as the need. And you're absolutely right. That's what was broken about our industry, and you're fixing it.